to honor the 2020 Champion of Child and Youth Rights. This is an award that we give out each year in honor of someone who has really gone above and beyond to help support children and youth in this province and beyond here in Canada. And it's my great honor to welcome Mary Teegee to the stage. She's a Gitxsan and Carrier woman from Takla Lake First Nation, a proud member of the Luxkaboo Wolf Clan. She's currently the Executive Director of Child and Family Services for the Carrier-Sekani Child Family Service, and she's the President of the BC Aboriginal Child Care Society. I'd like you to please help me to welcome her to the stage, and she has the distinct honor of awarding the 2020 champion. Please welcome Mary.
Good evening. Samogit, Simahana. Denize, Sekuze, Skyze, Mary Teegee Satney, Mausham Gaboo, White Wolf is my hereditary name. I would like to, first of all, thank you for this wonderful, beautiful night. But as protocol and laws dictate, I must first of all acknowledge our wonderful Musqueam people for allowing us on their territory, the rightful owners of the territory where we're conducting this important business regarding our children. So Masai, thank you. I'm so fortunate to be the president of BC ACTS. I've been in this role for quite a while. But when we're acknowledging the dignitaries, I must acknowledge the dignitary in the House, and that would be Karen Isaac's mother, Ruth Isaac. I would also like to acknowledge the Board of Directors, Deb Foxcroft, previous ADM, and again, herself in her own right, champion of children and child and family services, Deb Foxcroft, board member. We have Sue Sterling-Burr, soon to be Dr. Sue Sterling-Burr, who is still the leader in early childhood development, is doing a fantastic work. She is paving the way when it comes to education. She works at NVIT, is the head of the department in so many different things. I can't even say enough about almost Dr. Sue Sterling-Burr. We also have our own elder, Maurice Squires Nishka Malgalks, that's his hereditary chief's name, and he's also a board of director as well, so he's in the House as well, so those are dignitaries. I also would like to thank and acknowledge our wonderful, beautiful staff that are here from BC ACT. So they're here, and thank you for coming out, and the staff are just amazing. I'm really honored again to say that I'm here because we are living right now in unprecedented times as Indigenous people. You may have heard, of course, of this little thing that they call the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. I must give a shout out to Minister Conroy and the provincial government for finally acknowledging that and ensuring that we're going to live our life moving forward, having those guiding principles of the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. We also have the federal enabling legislation in child and family services. We also have the federal legislation for languages, Indigenous languages. All of these wonderful, amazing, history-making, defining moments don't occur by chance. They occur because one voice says we've had enough, we need to stand up, we need to fight, we need to make change for our most vulnerable, which of course are our Indigenous children, our Indigenous our Indigenous women. One of those voices very strong in all of these decades has been Karen Isaac. She has always been the voice for those that don't have a voice. I have seen her in action, and if you know Karen, you'd think, oh yeah, she's very quiet, but when it comes to children, that she is fierce. And when she is made when she's in front of government or anybody else, and she'll talk, but then when they forget about why we're there, she'll say, it's about the children. She will always bring it back to the children. So quite a few years ago, we had this dream, Karen had this dream, amongst other people, but really Karen leading it, about having an early learning childcare framework, an Indigenous one. And so we went to Ottawa for the first time, and I had an informal meeting, and that one voice of Karen, we are now here, first time in unprecedented times again, we now have the first Indigenous early learning and childcare framework. Karen is not only the champion and the voice, but she also really lives what she speaks of. She has become she's a grandmother, just recently for the second time, and I think she's become louder since her grandchildren has been born, which is a good thing. I want to just acknowledge the fact that her undying dedication and drive to fulfill this is her life. It is not uncommon for me to get emails from her at 11 or 12 o'clock on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's not uncommon for us to get calls to say, okay, this is what I want to do, or what do you consider about this? And then she makes it happen. People could talk, but she makes it happen. And BCX, we were a small little agency for years and years. We had a wonderful staff, and it was always a little engine that could. So now BCX, under the helm of Karen Isaac, we are one of the most successful, the only agency that does the work that we do in Canada. We're recognized internationally, and we only had like a staff, not even of 20, to do the research, the policy work, to make those fundamental shifts so that we can ensure that our most vulnerable are taken care of, and that those young voices from the early years can be heard. And I think that's just phenomenal. We are now at the cusp of just doing phenomenal things with the funding that we are receiving, the new federal funding. And of course, when we go to our meeting around with the funders table, that MCFD is going to be there providing the needed resources, that the provincial government are going to be there along with the federal government, so that we can ensure that those that don't have a voice all of a sudden are finally recognized and put in the place where they should be, at the center of all our communities. I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't thank all of you here. You're here for a reason. You're here because of the good work that the Creator has chosen you for. And I would like to say thank you, Maasai in my language, and Walali in Mi'kmaq. So thank you for being here and doing this work with us, because it's only together that we have that one heart, the one mind, the one spirit, and the one vision, and that's all for us to make the world a better place for all our children and youth now, and for those that are not yet born.